Hi, I'm Anthony Galdi from Behind the Emerald Curtain. Today we'll take a look at the hair and wig designs for Wicked. From simple looks to elaborate headpieces, these imaginative styles are uniquely Oz.
Wigs are so funny because we are all, as human beings, used to dealing with hair on our bodies and treating it in a certain way. The wig is an object. Tom Watson is a great hair designer and a wig maker. So his wigs, he wants people to treat them like their own hair. Once we've made the decision of what the wig is going to be, we know who is going to be wearing the wig, how the hair is actually going to move on the head, whether or not there's color change, what the color is going to be. Then it's given over to the hands of a wig maker.
Susan designed the costumes to be asymmetrical. A lot of the hair is also asymmetrical, so you'll see there'll be like a single-sided horn in a wig that just goes up to the right side and with a hat on the other side, so it's completely asymmetrical. All of Susan Hilferty's original sketches included sketches of the hair.
We look at the sketch, we try to understand the language that we are going to be using. The conversation has to do with the color of hair, the shape of the styles of hair. This conversation is about blending all of the elements together.
Whenever any new actor comes into the show, their hair is addressed almost immediately. There's always, for every actor, even if they're wigged for the entire show, a conversation between the wig supervisor and myself about color, texture, length.
Our job, as soon as we get our hands on the actor, is to measure them in every conceivable way. Most people for the first time are shocked that there are so many measurements to be had. To understand how to make the wig, you have to have literally, it's almost like a tracing of the head.
We do a mold of their head, use basically plastic bag and tape, and then we take that plastic bag mold that we just did, we stuff it out to meet certain measurements. So basically, we wind up having a duplicate of their head in the studio, and then we can build the wig on that duplicate. When we make the mold of the head, we start by prepping the head so that we get the hair as flat as we possibly can, and then we put the plastic bag over their head and start taping it down so that we basically have covered the entire head with tape, which that forms the actual shape. And then we use a Sharpie to outline exactly where the hairline is of each person. So, if they have a widow's peak, we can capture that. If they have a receded hairline, we capture that. Then after that, we measure. We take a series of various measurements, circumference, across the back of the nape, from the front center to the back, over the top of the head, and so forth. And we take those measurements so that we know how we have to stuff that mold out later. We have something to compare it to.
It's literally the road map of a person's head.
Once we have the head wrap, we take the head wrap and we find a canvas block whose circumference is about the same as the circumference of the actor or actress's head. Then we place the mold onto the block, tape it down, and then we actually make a series of cuts into that mold and start stuffing it with polyfill. And that allows us to basically stuff the head out until we get to the exact measurements that we've taken before. And that gives us the duplicate of their head. There's two ways we can make a wig. Either we start with nothing and we build a foundation, we build everything, or we start with an existing wig and rip off the front, rip off the top, and just customize it to the person. And then it takes about anywhere from 15 to 40 hours to build the wig. Most of that process is putting hair in a cap. Then we start building the wig from scratch that very day.
Every hair is put on by a craftsperson. Every hair is put into that wig.
Using methods that have been around for 300, 400 years now. So nothing's changed about wig making in the past, 3 centuries. On Wicked Broadway, there's approximately 120 wigs, I include facial hair in that as well, which is much larger than most shows. Other productions of Wicked have about 109, 110 wigs as well. So right now there's 7 productions in the world. That's about 800 wigs just for Wicked alone.
It's impossible to talk about a costume if you're not talking about the hair too. The hair design for the show is intrinsic to the design of the costume. It's all of a piece. The wigs are really what pull it all together. For all of the time and energy we spend making the clothes, and they are exceptional, and the clothes, the shoes, the gloves, the hats, it's not a costume. It is not finished. They are not in character until they have a wig on.